Hello friends, I am Ambika. Welcome to SA Educational Hub, a platform to share knowledge, service providers Shitun and Ambika. In this Python tutorial, we learn traversing a list using loops. A list can be traversed in Python using a for loop, a while loop, for and range function, and the enumerate function. Each section is explained with examples. Traversing a list using loops. Traversing a list means accessing every element of the list sequentially, one element at a time. We can access individual items in a list by using the index of each item. A list can be traversed in Python using a for loop or a while loop. Usually we start at the first item and continue until the end of the list. This process can be used for various operations such as searching for an item, finding the sum of elements, sorting the list, or updating a list. Using for loop. The most common and simplest method for traversing a list is to use a for loop. Technically, a for loop repeats the code block 1 for each item in a list value. Example. In this example, the first thing I did was create a new list with the 5 integer elements 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 and assign it to variable mylist. We used a for loop to iterate over each element in the list. In each iteration, the loop variable I holds the current element. The print statement prints every element of the list. For instance, in the first iteration, the loop variable I holds the first element 1 and the print statement inside the loop prints the first element 1. In the second iteration, the loop variable I holds the second element 3 and the print statement prints the second item 3. This iteration process continues until the last element of the list is accessed. Using while loops. In this example, the first thing I did was create a new list with the 4 string elements cat, dog, horse and cow and assign it to the variable mylist. The index variable I is initialized to 0. We used a while loop to iterate over each item in the list. This loop traverses the list and displays each item on a line. The while loop continues as long as the index variable I is less than the length of the list. The len function returns the number of items in the list. That means it returns the length of the list. Here len function returns 4. Inside the loop, access the item at the current index and print it. After printing the item, increment the index to move on to the next item. For instance, in the first iteration, the index variable I is 0, so it accesses the first item, which is cat, and prints it. Then it increments the I value by adding 1 to it. In the second iteration, the index variable I is 1, so it accesses the second item, which is dog, and prints it. Then it increments the I value by adding 1 to it. This iteration process continues as long as the value of I is less than the length of the list. The last item accessed is the one with the I value of length minus 1, that is I equals to 3, which is the last item in the list. When I is equal to the length of the list, the condition is false and the body of the loop is not executed. Using for and range function. The range function returns a sequence of numbers that starts from 0 and increments by 1 and stops before the integer passed to the range function. For example, the range 5 returns 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is perfect for generating the index numbers into a list. A common Python technique is to use a range function with a for loop to iterate over the indexes of a list. Example. In this example, the first thing I did was create a new list with the 5 integer elements 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 and assign it to the variable myList. We use the for loop with the range function to traverse the list. The built-in function len returns the length of the list. Here the len function returns a numeric value of 5, which is the length of the list. The range function returns a sequence of numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These numbers are used as the index value for the list. Inside the loop, the print statement will display each index and element of the list. For instance, in the first iteration, the I value is 0. So the print statement will display the index value 0 and the first element 1. In the second iteration, the I value is 1. So the print statement will display the index value 1 and the second element 3. This process continues until the I value is 4. Using range function with the for loop is handy because the code in the loop can access the index and the value at that index. Using the enumerate function. Instead of using the range function technique with a for loop to obtain the integer index of the items in the list, you can call the enumerate function instead. On each iteration of the loop, enumerate function will return two values, the index of the item in the list and the item in the list itself. Example. In this example, the first thing I did was create a new list with the 5 integer elements 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 and assign it to variable myList. After that, I used the enumerate function to traverse the list. On each iteration of the loop, enumerate function will return two values, the index of the item in the list and the item in the list itself. Next, the print statement will display the index value and the item in the list. The enumerate function is useful if you need both the item and the item's index in the loops block. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Previous video was list operation in Python. Next video is built-in functions for list in Python. Contact us ambikarai27@gmail.com. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you.